Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe, and as ever, well, not as ever, because he hasn't been here for a little while, it's Neale, Fantasy Football Scout's editor, who's joining me to discuss all the latest team news and developments, replacing Mark Joblin, who's been standing in for him while he's been away. Neale, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, thanks, sure. Yeah, and thanks to Mark, for filling in when I was away to keep the Geordie quotient up. Yeah, I'm back, unflagged.
Coming in there. Okay, thanks so much for joining. Oh, hello, are you still here? Just checking everyone's here still. Sorry, my feed just went down slightly there. Can everyone who's in the live chat just let me know that you can see and hear us, and that will be great. We'll march on, and we'll hopefully everything still here. Great, excellent, brilliant. Thanks so much for that. Okay, let's move on. Aston Villa against Arsenal. What's the latest from Villa?
Yeah, they've got one sort of significant concern. It's Emi Martinez, of course, was in the lineup to face Brighton in the week, and not for the first time, pulled out of a starting 11 with a late issue. It was a back niggle, and he's going to be assessed before the lunchtime kickoff. He didn't train yesterday. He's feeling better, according to Emery, so they'll see today. Otherwise, it's just Barkley and Mings out medium term.
Okay, and probably the more headline news for Arsenal, because I know Declan Rice is well owned. How is he, and how are the rest of them as well? Still problems at the back, I think.
Yes, yeah, and ever shifting injury list at the back. We'll start with Rice, who I think is probably the most one of the injury doubts. If you ask him, he says he's fine because he was interviewed after the who were they playing Brentford game in midweek, and he was walking through the mix zone. I think Sky asked him if he was all right, and he said he was fine. Of course, Arteta's not going to be that clear cut, is he? And of course, he wasn't again today. He said, "Let's see." He said that's going to be the answer for all the injured players today, and they're going to have a training session in the afternoon. But he was pointing to his calf when he came off race, but he himself had said he was all right. So I suspect he might be fine.
Okay.
Not so much Mosquera,
Okay.
who was the defender you alluded to there in the intro. He has an ankle injury, landed awkwardly in that Brentford game. And Arteta, to be fair, did actually give us something. He said it was a more complicated injury.
Ooh.
So they're going to have another test on him today to see where he is, but it sounds like he's going to miss out.
Okay.
SALAH and Trossard, they were days away earlier this week. Of course, they missed out against Brentford, but that is still the estimate, according to Arteta, a matter of days. So we'll see if those are available. Havertz and Gabriel are definitely out. And I believe that was it. Yeah, there was a bit of questions about Calafiori being on 4 bookings, in case you didn't know. And Odegaard, he came back for his first start in 2 months in game week 14, effectively replacing Eze. And Arteta says he is capable of doing 2 starts within such a short space of time, but I suspect Eze is definitely coming by.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks so much for that. Let's move on to Bournemouth against Chelsea. Okay, yeah. Bournemouth. It's quite a lot of news for Bournemouth at the moment there. What's the latest?
Yeah, they're going to get 2 players back from suspension. Crucially, for some FPL managers, one of those is Marcos Senesi, who's back from his 1-match ban. Same with David Brooks. But they've got others on the suspension list. So Lewis Cook is still on there following his red card in game week 13. Tyler Adams is newly on the unavailable list. He picked up his 5th booking of the season in midweek, which leaves Bournemouth very short in midfield. So he's suspended. Christian Ben Gannon-Doak are still out. And Senesi effectively will come in for, it looks like, Milo Savljevic, who is struggling with a knee injury called Iraola.
Okay.
And it will be difficult for him to be fit. So
Okay.
Senesi and Daki at centre half.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be playing Senesi this week, so I hope he starts. I hope he gets some DEFCON points. I'm not sure he's going to get a clean sheet. What's the latest from Chelsea?
Very quiet on the injury front anyway, nothing new. So they've got the pre-existing one, so Isugu, Lavia, Colwell and Mudryk, of course, is provisionally suspended. And speaking of suspensions, Caicedo is, I think this is game 2 of a 3-match ban, so he's still out. But other than that, no new injuries. There was a lot of talk and questions about Maresca's rotation against Leeds because he risked it all. He rested some of the big guns at Ellen Road and it backfired.
Okay.
And we'll see a lot of those names come back into the side this weekend. Reece James, Gusto, Fafana, Neto, they'll all come back in, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yep. Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, I hope some of them don't, because I'm playing Senesi against them. Everton against Nottingham Forest. Let's go with Everton first. Yeah. What's the latest there? Particularly about Michael Keane. He'll be in a few squads.
He will after his goal scoring heroics of this season. He's not Moyes is not sure whether Keane's going to be back. He was an unexpected absence in game week 14. We weren't aware of anything, but he picked up when Newcastle against injury. So he picked up an injury against Newcastle. Told you I was rusty.
Yeah.
And then he just couldn't make it for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So Moyes said he was not sure whether he was going to make it or not. So no real help there.
Yeah.
Definite outs though. Merlin Roll, Branthwaite, Coleman, they're all still out. And Eric Bodum's joined Idrissa Gana Gueye on the suspension list as well. So again, much like Bournemouth, very short of bodies in centre midfield.
Okay. And as for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, one of the press conferences yesterday that we had, one of six. Dyche said that he was hopeful that Murillo would be back quickly. He had been on the cusp of a return from a hamstring injury and was touch and go, which is a classic Dycheism for midweek. But then he got ill as well.
Okay.
He got a bit of a virus. So they're hoping both things have cleared up by the weekend. Apart from that, though, everyone else who was injured looks set to remain out. So that's Chris Woods, Taiwo Awoniyi, Douglas Luiz, Angus Gunn, Ola Aina, and Zinchenko, we think as well. He's on the grass, Zinchenko, but this might come too soon. Dylan Backwell's actually had match practice. He played for the reserves in midweek. But they said yesterday it's going to be gently with reducing him. Morgan Gibbs-White, he's been playing through back niggles of late. I think he's been flagged a couple of times.
Yep.
He came off again on, when was it, Wednesday night. But Dyche wasn't sort of unduly bothered. He just said Gibbs-White is one of those who's been playing a lot of minutes at the moment. A few knocks more than anything, and he doesn't think it's anything serious.
Okay, let's go for Man City against Sunderland. Let's go with City first. What's the latest there?
Very quiet on the injury front. Not that Pep was asked about any fresh concerns, but he did confirm that Rodri is still out. We know that Kovacic is too. Other than that, there was some interesting quotes about Ike Nori and Nico O'Reilly, who are effectively tussling for that one left-back spot. As you would expect, Pep said that Ike Nori's only not playing because O'Reilly's in such good form. No surprise there. But he was then asked if O'Reilly would need a rest in the next 2 or 3 games, and he said, yeah, maybe. He did point to the fact that the City were running out of legs against Fulham because he kept it pretty much unchanged, I think, for that. It was unchanged for that Fulham game in midweek. So he did cite the fact that they were tiring in that game, and then they've got a lot of games coming up in the future. But they did say that he's young and he can recover quickly, and he's not like a grandfather like Bernardo. So he may be pointing at a rest for Bernardo this weekend. So yeah, I'd be surprised if he goes with exactly the same team as he has done in game week 13 and 14. I suspect there might be 1 or 2 changes at least.
Okay, a couple of people in the chat are saying that they can't hear, but other people in the chat telling them to turn their volume up. So if you have got any problems, do let us know, and we'll check that. Everything seems fine from our end, though, so especially for those people who are telling people to turn the volume up as well. What do we think about other rotation elsewhere? For example, Foden, who's been brought in by number and will continue to be brought in over the next few days, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'll have to delve into the wider implications for rotation after looking at the website, various local news websites. But with Foden, what I will say is that Pep has repeatedly in the past said he is one of their best players at recovering. He's got a phenomenal powers of rehabilitation and be able to sort of regenerate between games. So I think he's one of the ones we're least concerned about. And I'll be bringing him in, I think, this week, almost certainly. So I'd be least concerned about him. I think he'll be all right. There will be some who I think who will drop out, such as Bernardo, perhaps.
Yeah, and I would imagine as well with because there's a lot of interest in City at the moment. That's why I was asking as well. I would imagine with the Real Madrid game, the feeling would be that players might be rested for that, and it might be the other way round, that Sunderland could be the tougher game, if you see what I mean, in that they've got to maintain, they can't slip up against Sunderland as they almost did against Leeds. Meanwhile, realistically, it doesn't matter what happens against Real Madrid because they're through within the Champions League anyway, you would think.
And one good thing about the schedule is that it's this run for City is Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, and then Sunday.
Okay.
There's some generous gaps for this
Yeah.
time of year.
Okay.
There's like 3 days in between all the games. It's not like a Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday
Yeah.
lunchtime game.
Yeah.
So I think that will help. And then there's the League Cup game after that, which he will rest everyone for that, I'm sure. But you just keep your fingers crossed and hope you can get through these next couple of game weeks without any rotation.
Excellent. Thanks everyone in the live chat for confirming that you can all hear us. That's good. For anyone who can't, please do check your volume and please do check you haven't got it muted before you put something in here, because it can be quite disconcerting if you say you can't hear, and then so I want to make sure everyone can hear there. So do check those things before, and also try switching it on and off again. Okay, Newcastle against Burnley. Your side, Newcastle. I got to say that to Mark as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
how are your sides set up for this game against Burnley? I laugh mainly because I'm probably going to play Dubravka in this.
Are you?
My defence
Well,
is
you
in
should get
tatters.
save points at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're looking okay actually. Johan Wissa, his long-awaited debut could be very near. Howe said he's getting closer to first team involvement, and he got minutes in a midweek game behind closed doors as well, an 11v11 game on Wednesday.
Okay.
So only around half an hour. So if he does get involved against Burnley, he will be on the bench, and might even get off that. So no worries if you're at Walter Mardo owner just yet. Tonali will be given every chance to recover. He suffered a knock or dead leg type thing in midweek against Spurs and came off at half time. He's had a scan. I don't think it's bad. Botman remains out. He's had an injection in his back, and that'll take a week to settle down, and then could be available thereafter. But everyone else is still out. So Trippier, Kraft, Nick Pope as well. They're all going to be looking around about Christmas,
Okay.
Boxing Day-ish for those. So yeah, Ramsdale's got a bit of a run. Not that he started particularly well on Tuesday night against Spurs.
Okay, so that might indicate that Pope could come back. It's when he's fit, rather than sort of being back fit and then Ramsdale's taken his place. So we'll see how that goes. Burnley, what's the latest there?
Yeah, well, you didn't get any team news questions in the open section of Park Express, but the night before he did confirm that Axel Tuanzebe's out, so he's one of the 3.9 million defenders, I think he is, and he's going to be out for a couple of weeks with an injury causing him to miss out in game week 14, and thereafter I think he goes to the AFCON, so he may be out for a while. And I think otherwise, just the long-term ones: Jordan Bayer, Connor Roberts, Ziki Amdouni, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, rightio. Let's move on to Tottenham against Brentford. What's Thomas Frank got to say for himself about his team?
Yeah, much the same again. So this is a recurring theme. No real fresh concerns, which is
Okay.
a bit surprising this time of year. So everyone from the midweek game should be ready, according to Frank. He's still got 4 out. Solanke, Madison, Kulusevski, and Basuma. He had no updates on Solanke and Kulusevski.
Okay.
Dragosin and Takai, both backup defenders. They are now sort of injury free, and they're now just getting minutes with the under 21s to build their match fitness. And that is it.
Okay, and as for Brentford, in particular with Thiago as well, because I know that he was a sort of concern, didn't start, then came on. Yeah, what's the latest with him? Is he fine for this?
He'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure he will be.
Okay.
Andrews said he wasn't going to name the team, obviously, in his press conference, but he did say he was in a good place. He's clearly in a good place. Any injury concerns have obviously been assuaged because he was on the bench against Arsenal and then he came on. So
Okay.
I don't think there's anything the problem there because he did limp off in the closing stages of game week 13. But I'm sure he'll start. And otherwise, just the long-term ones again. De Silva, Carvalho, Milambo, all knee injuries of a lengthy period. They will get one player back, and that is Reece Nelson. He couldn't play against Arsenal on Wednesday.
Okay, let's move on to Leeds against Liverpool. Let's go with Leeds first. How are they set up for this?
Yes, of course. Yes, they are fine. Yeah, James and Longstaff, both medium-term absentees. Actually, I say they're fine because Farker opened his press conference by saying no fresh injury concerns, and then a bit later went on to say, "Oh, there are a few major doubts as well." So Lucas Nemecha, the two strikers actually from midweek,
Oh,
Lucas Nemecha had hamstring problems after the game,
yeah.
and Calvert-Lewin, surprise, surprise, had calf problems. So they're both question marks for the Liverpool game.
Oh,
Otherwise, though, Fargo was just talking about workload. So the players that he might rotate, he went through basically the entire team
right.
saying who wouldn't get rotated. It was almost a full-on Bielsa
Oh,
Short story. Rodon, you'll be fine.
Phew. I might have to play him as well.
Tanaka, yeah, Rodon. He basically said he's gonna feature Ampadu as well,
Right.
and Tanaka may be the one who drops out. So
Right.
there'll be a
Who's
few rotations.
who's likely to start up front for them? I just wondered if they've got any firepower because people will have Liverpool defence as well.
Yeah. Well, I suspect if both of those miss out, it'll be probably Joel Pirro, who doesn't have much of a look in since he came up
Yeah.
from the Championship, and Okafor as well, who I think was one of the front two against City. I think he
Okay.
played alongside Mecha, so I think it'll be those two
Okay.
up top.
Rightio. As for Liverpool, then, what's the latest there?
More non news really. No fresh concerns for
Okay.
midweek. Everyone's come through unscathed. Gomez had a knock actually before the midweek game and still started, so he's all right. And they get another player back, Connor Bradley. He should be involved at Leeds. He's trained this week. He's been out since I think November break, so not too long. So he should be involved, provided he comes through training today. Otherwise, the long-term ones are still out, or medium to long-term, I should say. Frimpong, Leone being the main two. And then otherwise, it was lots of questions about whether Salah's going to start. Obviously, he wouldn't confirm that, but I suspect he probably will.
Yeah.
Given that, again, he went unchanged, I think, or almost unchanged in midweek. And then I'll refer people to the team news article on the website because there's lots of quotes about Isak's form, Szoboszlai's position,
Okay.
Gakpo's lack of competition on the left flank, Wirtz's
Oh.
confidence, all that kind of stuff. There's loads of quotes on the website, so head to the article that's top of the site right now.
Okay. A Gakpo lack of competition. But he has sort of been brought off early in some matches.
He has. He was in midweek. In fact, Salah came on, and then we saw. So Szoboszlai started on the right, Wirtz was in the centre, and Gakpo on the left. Everyone shuffled across to accommodate Salah. So Szoboszlai went middle, Wirtz went left. It was more about the fact that Slot hadn't tried Ekitike on the left yet. Oh, he's out. And that he's very careful with Nigamore's minutes as well because he's only 17.
Okay.
But yeah, they
Okay.
did say that some players benefit, a lot of players benefit from momentum rather than competition. So he was highlighting that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that could be good news for Gakpo owners. Brighton against West Ham many years ago. The first game I ever saw at the Amex was this. Brighton lost. Kevin Nolan scored for West Ham. Brighton, what's the latest there? And this some sad news about their up-and-coming striker.
Yeah, one of the two young Greek lads, Stefanos Simas, is going to be out long term. It looks like with a knee injury. They're going to assess him further, but Hertzler's already talking in terms of months. So he's out. Yasin Ayari could return from a muscle injury. Hertzler wasn't quite sure, but there's definitely a chance, he says. Mitoma, who's had a chance, I think, for about 2 months now, and he's had another small setback in training, so I suspect we won't see him, even though Hertzler hasn't ruled him out. He said he hopefully can train today, and then we can try and get him available as quickly as possible thereafter. Better news elsewhere. Ruta should be fine. According to Hertzler, he's back in non-contact training, so not full contact yet, but Hertzler did say he should be an option. And the same for Tommy Watson as well, who's trained. Milner, March, and Webster, they're still out.
Okay, rightio. Hopefully we'll see some more minutes from Hinchelwood, one of my favourites. West Ham, yeah. What's the latest there? Paqueta will be back, won't he? I imagine.
He will, and he'll be starting, according to Nuno. He's confirmed that.
Okay.
Actually, this was last night, but the quotes were embargoed until this afternoon. But he said yes, he's going to play, and that's from the start. Otherwise, Somerville hopefully returns soon, according to Nuno. That'll be more next week. Ollie Scarles is an individual training, and one of your lots, actually, Igor Julio, is ineligible to feature because he's on loan from Brighton.
Yeah, I can't remember what the complicated thing about his transfer was, but somehow in a roundabout way it prevented Mark Gahey going to Liverpool. I think
Yes,
Palace.
there was like a domino effect, wasn't there?
Palace were in for him, and if he'd have joined, then they would have had more bodies there to enable Gahey to go. But that didn't happen. West Ham ended up having him, and Gahey remained.
And he's barely played Igor since he moved to West Ham as well. So
I know
everyone's a loser.
Everyone apart from Brighton.
Apart from Palace.
Yes. Excellent. We've helped Palace out again, as we used to back in the days when Zaha scored against us. Fulham against Crystal Palace. What's the latest from Fulham?
You can probably guess what I'm going to say. No new concerns again for Fulham.
Their physio is amazing.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they should. He should
Yeah.
be working. He should be like coveted by the top clubs, really. But they do have two longer term ones, which
Mm.
he couldn't do much about. So Anthony Robinson and Rodrigo Muniz, they're still
Yeah.
sidelined. Robinson's actually back in drills and training,
Hmm.
so he's getting there. But Silva wasn't even sure if he'd be back before Christmas
Okay.
when he was asked this afternoon.
Righty. Oh, just before we go look at Crystal Palace, someone in the live chat says which midfielder to get only for a week, a super differential one. I haven't checked the ownership, but I would imagine some midfielders from your team, Neil, might be good because they're against Burnley. So for like sort of
Yep.
Bruno Guimaraes, for example, would be quite a good differential. I don't think they're well owned
Yep.
there.
Oh
And
yeah, Bruno for sure. I think his numbers actually aren't that great, and he's effectively playing almost as a six at the moment. But he still managed to get. He's like wildly overachieving on his underlying
yeah,
data.
yeah,
But he's going to start, and that counts for a lot this week. He
yeah,
was benched in midweek for a
yeah,
rest, so you know he's going to come back in
yeah,
here, and that for 1 week that
yeah.
might count for a lot.
Yeah, he could be good there. Crystal Palace, what's the latest there? I think we know Sar's out. I think Glasner indicated that, and I don't think Sar's going to end up going to AFCON. But yeah, what else is going on there?
Yeah, there's some doubt about that. Yeah, yeah, as you say, he's definitely out with this one. Nothing much else though from Palace. Again, this was Glasner speaking yesterday, so something could have happened in the interim. Dukuri Kapora still out, but they might get Borna Sosa back, who's an alternative at left wing
Okay,
back. But otherwise, nothing new. And Glasner did highlight the fact that they've got an extra day of recovery. They're playing on Sunday, so that hopefully should help the minutes of the likes of Richards and Mateta, although I suspect you still see Mateta taking off,
okay.
which is now customary, around about 60, 70 minutes.
Rightio. Sandra, who asked that question about Bruno Guimaraes, he already owns him. So so you have to find another one there. Do check out the website. There's an article Tom Freeman will have done on differentials. There'll be a midfielder in there. Definitely have a look at that. And also check any membership tables if you're a member there as well. But definitely have a look at that article that Tom Freeman did. He does that every week, and he's very good at picking differentials. Final game, Wolves, Manchester United. Let's go with Wolves first. What's the latest?
So Rob Edwards was the last of them speaking yesterday, and he confirmed that Marshall Monetsi is now sidelined with a calf injury, or likely to be, having another scan. He came on, I think, as an 85th minute substitute, and then was off again a few minutes later. So he's probably going to be out. Rodrigo Gomez, Chiwomi, Bentley, they're all out too. They're going to have to do without Joao Gomez, who picked up his fifth booking of the
Right.
season. For Lopez and Hugo Bueno, they missed out with minor injuries. We didn't hear any updates on them, at least I haven't yet. Ladislav Krejci, how do I pronounce this? Krejci he was absent, I think, for the last two games, but he was already back on the grass ahead of the Forest match, so he could feature, especially as it is a Monday night game. There's an extra bit of recovery.
Okay, and with Manchester United, so yeah, there was talk in the week that a couple of players could miss out, and lots of speculation was Bruno Fernandes, but yeah, it wasn't him at all. So what's the latest for Manchester United?
It was De Ligt, who I think was the only player who hadn't been guessed. Everyone had gone through the entire team guessing who it might be. Fernandez obviously being one of them. De Ligt missed out, but Amorim is hopeful of having him back
Right.
this weekend. He was also hopeful of Darlow's availability as well. He came off last night after scoring against West Ham, but Amorim said, I think he will be fit.
Okay.
Did say we'll see afterwards. Otherwise, we're expecting Sesko and Maguire to still be out. Amorim was asked about these AFCON players, so we think now, or we pretty much know that most Premier League players will be able to play in game week 16 and then leave thereafter. The doubt with Man United is because they're playing on Monday night. So, for example, Mazraoui, he's going to be involved in Morocco's tournament opener, which I think is on the 21st, and that's less than the 7 days permitted by FIFA.
Okay.
So there's a bit of doubt over him. The good thing with Mbumo and Ahmad, I think they're playing until the 24th. I think it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So they should be fine for game week 16. Amram didn't know actually when he was asked last night. He said, "No, we're looking only at the next game. That's the only thing he cares about." So, but we think the vast majority of players are going to be fine for game week 16. Mazraoui being one of the exceptions, but Mbumo should
Okay.
Be all right.
Righty-o. Let's see if we can round up all of that. So available, but looks like Bradley could be back, especially because Gomez is in the questionable column here with a knock. Also questionable Tonali, fitness concerns could leave him out. Rice, calf problems could see him miss out. Murillo, we just don't know. They seem sort of hopeful, but we don't know whether Murillo will be back. Calvert-Lewin and Nemecha are both doubts, so we could see an alternative front line for Leeds there. Dallo and De Ligt are both questionable. Could be back, might not be. And Emi Martinez is to be assessed as well. Major doubts. Wissa back in training, but I think fitness is good. We don't think we'll see him for a while. Mosquera could miss out with his ankle problems. Saliba is a nearer return, so maybe. Trossard nearer return as well. They're sort of doubts, questionables. Matoma, he's had a setback in training, so he's not back. Keane is a bit of a doubt, we think, for Everton. Definitely out. Botman with a back problem. Simas got a long-term injury at Brighton, so that sort of gives Welbeck a few more minutes, you would imagine. Tunzabi is going to be out for a couple of weeks, I think, for the knock. Minetzi has got a calf problem. Jack Gomez is suspended. Tyler Adams is suspended as well. And Julio, who we don't see much for West Ham, on loan from Brighton. He's ineligible because he's on loan from Brighton. I think we got most of the sort of new things there, things that we didn't know about.
I believe so, yes. I think that's all done.
Excellent, brilliant. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone in the live chat. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Neale, thanks a lot for joining me. We'll be back again next week to look ahead to Game Week 16's team news. Take care. See you soon.
Bye for now.